Hey guys, this is Locke. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Victoria and how great her EX is going to be. First of all, I'm just going to go over her EX upgrades that are coming up. So, the first upgrade is actually to her counter, and I don't really like counter upgrades too much because they're not that great, but this one is not too bad. First of all, it changes the AoE to be from this to something like where is it? Something like this. So the area. So whenever anybody from this range attacks, they have a chance to get countered. And the other upgrade to this counter is that it also increases her own AP by 15 and decreases enemies' AP by 15. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's one of the better counter upgrades. Usually they kind of suck, but this one is okay, I feel. Still, I would rather it not be a counter upgrade because counter chance is still usually very low. This is only a 20% chance to counter, so it's not the greatest, but it is what it is. The second EX upgrade is to her horizontal jump and actually has two additional effects. The first thing is that the area height changes from 0 to 1, which I believe is really significant, especially for things like CM or even a lot of like arena maps. Right now, if I'm using Victor, I have to rely on not vertical jump, rely on dragon dive to hit a lot of stuff because this is the only, you know, skill that has a lot of height. Vertical jump also has height, but I don't usually get chances to use it often because it has a short range, and she's not so tanky that she can usually survive that. So I would have enjoyed using horizontal jump, but usually it's hard to land it because of the range height 0. So range height 1 is, in my opinion, like pretty huge on this skill. It is a 5 range skill and it has a 220 mod, so that's, huge. And the second upgrade to this skill is it also decreases defense by 25, and it decreases defense before it does the damage. So that is, it's not like defense penetrations, it's actually decreased defense. So if they have 0 defense, it goes to minus 25. So basically this skill is always going to do an additional 25% damage than what it's already doing. She doesn't really have any other defense penetration in her kit, so this is really nice. Yeah, and I prefer decreased defense over defense penetration anyway, because the enemy might have low defense or like 0 defense or something, and defense penetration is not going to do anything. So having something like this where it decreases defense is preferable to me. There are some units that have like defense debuff resistance, but that it's not really common, and usually it's like a passive and people usually don't take it. So I really like this. I like that, this skill became like very significant for me because first of all, range height increase and defense decrease by 25. I think that's huge. The third skill, I can't show you a preview here, but it is similar to Gilgamesh's Kotetsu. That's how the range looks like. Let me see here. Oh, sorry, not like this actually. It's similar to Glaciala's skill. Leap strike, where is that here? Yep, it's similar to this. So this is how the skill is going to look like. The only difference is that right here you can see that there is a like once the skill lands, it hits 3 squares. So Victoria's new skill is going to only hit 2 squares. So right now this skill has a range of 6. Victoria's skill is going to have a range of 5, but it has a range height of 2 and an AoE range height of 1. So this is going to be, in my opinion, her skill to use like everywhere, and has an additional effect of causing frostbite. It gives you 25% chance to cast frostbite, and it also moves unit to the target panel, which is basically this panel. So it's similar to leap strike because leap strike also does the same thing. It moves to the target panel when you're doing damage. So I think those are amazing upgrades for Victoria. But I think the reason that she's going to be amazing is not just because of her upgrades, but also because of her VC. Now, there has never been a time where her VC has actually been this powerful, because when Victoria was around before and this VC was released, it did have the, like these additional effects. Like you could still get the 20 pierce attack, but when Victoria was, sorry, not when Victoria, but when the vision cards got a boost to have that, that additional effect. Like in this case, it's an ice units pierce attack up by 35. When that was released, units got their EX. So the units that did not get their EX were not as popular as, some of the newer units like Yuna and Titus. And as they kept releasing more and more EX unit, the units that didn't have EX was very, rarely used, right? So Victor wasn't really used. But now that she's getting her EX, her attack is actually going to be very similar. It's actually, I think, a little bit higher than Cloud's. So she's going to do a ton of damage. And this card, in my opinion, is insane for her because, first of all, let's count all the additional damage that she gets from it, right? So she gets 20 here. She gets 10 here from Maneater, so that's 30. And then she gets Ice Unit Pierce attack up, so that's an additional 65 attack. That's like similar to like 2 vision cards, right? Like you can use something like, I don't know, like a plus 35 slash attack and plus 35 dark attack or something. So that gives you plus 70. So this vision card basically does almost the same attack as 2 different vision cards. Not only that, it also gives you 55 dexterity and 22 luck. 55 dexterity is about 25% increase of Victoria's own dexterity, and then 22% luck. So basically, that's like an additional card almost, right? Like you're getting like a 35% boost to accuracy from dexterity or luck. So again, that's huge. So all these effects combined, and as I said before, like this has never been done before because even in JP, they don't have these like limited global effects. They don't have this, right? So this card is a little bit weaker on them, but it's going to be so strong in global. And now that Victor is finally getting EX tomorrow, this card, in my opinion, is going to be like phenomenal on her. And so there are 2 different PvP modes. There's manual and auto. In auto, you have to figure out like how to use her because like if you look at her kit, she has move 3, jump 1. But if you use her passive, which is where did it go? Thief Lore. It increases her move and also increases her agility. So you can kind of manipulate a little bit if you want her to go up, like further, or you want her to hang back. You have to figure out like which is going to give you a better chance to attack. Her horizontal jump actually does give her a little bit more survivability now because the AI is smart enough now that it doesn't use horizontal jump if the enemy gets to go before she goes. So it'll only use it if Victor can land the skill, and while she's using it, while she's in the air, she's invulnerable, right? So I think that's like you can manipulate the AI a little bit with it. Like maybe you want her to go first and buff, and because the map is huge, so she'll go up and cast like one of her self buffs, and then the enemy will go, and then the next turn she will go and either cast horizontal jump or she'll cast what is it? Her new skill that has a range height of 2 and range of 5. Or she might even use her LB, which is also insane because her LB has a range of 6 and a cast charm. So the way that you would run Victura, so you would probably run her very high faith because she has all these status effects now. When I ran her, I think I actually ran her at 97 faith for a while. But like even 70 or 75 or that's not bad. And she now has, in addition to charm, she also has frostbite. All right, and so frostbite is going to be good against most non-mage type units because even with bells they will not be recovering AP, and it will actually decrease their AP every turn for 3 turns. So this skill is going to be like crazy because enemies will not want to get too close to Victoria because if they do, she will use the skill and they will suffer basically, right? Also, I find that with enemies like evade units, right? Like evade units, typically you want to charm them or you want to like stop or disable or something, right? And with what's her name? With 2B and Tifa, both of them have stop resist and charm resist. Actually, I don't know if both of them have stop resist, but you can put the ribbon on them to increase their stop resistance. But anyway, I mean, they're both resistant to charm, so that might be the case where you have trouble fighting evade because they can be built to resist Disable with Tetrasulfate Esper. They can be built to resist Stop with the Ribbon, and they both have Charm Resist as well. Now Victra, she doesn't need to land her LB to attack them because she's ice. She's going to do a lot more damage to them anyway. So you don't even need to worry about charming them. You can just like outright kill them. And she does have a guaranteed hit with Sneak Attack if you manage to get behind them. And with Move 4, it's a little bit easier to actually get Sneak Attack off. So I think she's great. Like, especially for manual PvP, I think she's going to be really, really popular. Another thing with manual PvP is that usually in CM, you pretty much always encounter Frederica. Victra, with her card, can actually build to be 100% missile resistance. Now, Frederica's can still penetrate missile resistance with her passive, like she has a 40% missile resistance penetration passive. But whoever she's paired with, like if it's like Frederica and Cloud and Nivlu, for example, Frederica's the only one that can deal damage if Victra has 100% missile resistance. And, well, you have to wear, I think you have to wear the defense bracer for 3 turns to actually get to 100%, but maybe you can actually build some without it. I haven't checked too much, but with the defense bracer it actually goes above 100%, and you have to pair her up with somebody like a Nightblade subjob like Kingmont or 9S, and you can very easily get to 100. I also was thinking of putting a Golem, not Golem, Death Machine Esper for the additional 25% missile resistance, and that's how I get to 100%. Missile resistance. But anyway, so she is going to counter these missile units because they will not be able to do damage for 3 turns, and in that 3 turns she can basically go and charm them or use her Frostbite skill, and they won't be able to deal so much damage anymore. So she is basically like a direct counter, in my opinion, to these like missile units, especially like everyone but Frederica. Basically, Frederica can still do damage, but I don't think Frederica will be able to kill her, because I mean, like, she would have to probably land 3 hits at least, because she will only be doing 40% of her damage. So I think, and Victra will still get like 16 defense from her defense bracer as well. So anyway, she's already like a good counter to Frederica, which is very popular in class match. So she has that going for her. And then she's Ice Element, and Wind is picking up now with Tifa and Tubi and Wind Evasion and all that, and that is also getting popular. And I talked about her vision card already. I said that her vision card gives you a little bit of luck and dexterity, which both increases her accuracy. Odin is very popular to use in ice teams, and I think it'll pair well with her. You don't have to put it on her, you can put it on somebody else, but Odin will give her 25% accuracy for all ice units, including her, and will also give unit attack resistance up of 20, helping her to survive Frederica even more, and obviously like doing really good against these Wind teams, because especially Wind Evade, because this is going to boost her accuracy, and having additional accuracy means that she also has a much higher chance of landing these status effects, and she actually has 3, not just 2. The third one that she has is actually on her Thief subjob, which is usually what I recommend that she runs with. So she will have Charm on her Limit Burst, which is this one. This can charm. It's a very high % chance to charm, by the way. It's higher than Steelheart. It has like 67% chance to charm. And then she has on her new job level 25 skill the Frostbite, which is terrifying for non-mage type units. And finally, she has Snipe Dagger, which causes confusion and has a range of 4. So she has 3 different status effects, and in my opinion, she probably is run High Faith. If you look at her status resistance, which is right here, she has minus 20% to magic. She most likely will be like one-shot by magic anyway. I mean, unless you run Fenrir and like really up her magic resistance. But I don't think, like, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, she is just most likely, she does, in my opinion, better built to do more damage and to take advantage of her strengths instead of trying to negate for her weakness. So she's probably going to be one shot anyway by magic, even if she's at 50 faith. So having her 97 faith, in my opinion, is better, or at least 70. Like higher faith, in my opinion, is better because you can take more advantage of her like status effects. Um, but having high faith also means that she's susceptible to negative status effects. She has built-in stop and immobilize resist, and if you are running Death Machine on her, which is what I recommend, I mean, it lowers her damage by a bit because it doesn't actually have anything that any of the nodes increasing her damage, but it gives her missile resistance and defense. And in my opinion, because her card is already giving her so much damage, I would use the Esper to focus on her defense. And additionally, this gives you 25% charm resist. So I think that's going to be a good build for her. And if you find that, fire is her weakness, so if you're finding that you're fighting too many fire enemies for whatever reason, you can also increase the fire resistance here as well. It goes up to 25, so maybe that might offset it a little bit. Um, and then yeah, I mean, like with her VCs, you can like increase her damage by a crazy amount basically, because I already talked about her VC, and then there's also this other VC that I have not maxed or even leveled up. But this one, you can pair both of these VCs, and this VC will give an additional 35 ice attack up, and this will stack with all the benefits from the Mask of Deceit. So that's 65 plus 35, so that's basically plus 100 damage modifier to Victora's Ice Pierce damage. And then you can also put Fenrir as well, which would increase her attack by an additional 50%, and this also negates the magic resistance by a little bit as well. Or you can put a different card as well. You can put, like, if you're running her alongside a fire unit like King Mont or something, you can also put this one as well. And this is generic enough that you can use it on anyone really. But yeah, I mean, you can build her to do crazy amounts of damage. And if you for some reason don't do enough damage, you can land all kinds of crazy status effects. So I believe she's going to be like very, very powerful. Definitely for manual PvP, she's going to be very powerful. For live PvP, for auto battles like Arena and Guild Wars, it depends on the map. It depends on if you can get her to work such that she will not be one shot like while she's going ahead. If you notice, one of her weaknesses, in my opinion, for auto PvP is that she does not have any buffs that targets teammates. So you have to give her a TMR that targets a teammate to not get her to run forward. So that means that she can't use spells. So that depends on the map now, right? Is the map is the map big enough that she can use spells turn one and then and run forward and not get hit by anyone? Or do you have to use some kind of TMR to get her to run towards your allies? But then if you're doing that, she's not getting enough AP, and if she's not getting a lot of AP, she is not going to be able to use all these crazy skills that she has often, right? And so she might not be as effective. But this is not a problem for manual PvP because, especially in class match, because she is able to grab all those crystals to get a lot of AP back. So yeah, she is going to be insane. And if you look at some of the stats, so she has very similar HP to Cloud. She has very similar attack to Cloud. She has 6 less agility compared to Cloud, but she also has a passive that increases agility, which Cloud doesn't have. So if you add that up, she basically also has similar agility to Cloud as well. So that's a good reference in my opinion. She has like over 500 attack if you look at the index, but this does include the board stats though, so this is not 500 base attack. But yeah, she can be built to do a ton of damage. She can be built to do a lot of these crazy status effects, and I think she's going to be very powerful, especially with her vision card, because that one vision card gives her so many stats, all offensive stats, and yeah, I think she's going to be very powerful. So I just wanted to share my thoughts, get this out, because I know people are also thinking about Halloween. What do you want to pull for? How many blossoms do you have saved up? And what are you going to use it on? Are you going to use it on Victora? Especially if you're interested in CM, I think that might be a good choice as well. But also, it's not a rush. You can wait to see what the new Halloween unit has, like what are the new skills and stuff, and see their kit before you make a decision. But I didn't want to neglect Victora, so I thought I wanted to just get this video out, talk about her, and talk about why I think she's going to be so powerful. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have other questions or comments, leave them down below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care now.